there was this play called Mum's the Word. And I had heard so many good things about it that I decided to buy a couple tickets for my besties and my mom. And we were going to go and watch this. Now, this was a play about being a mother, but how hard it was and all the hard things, but how funny they actually were when you looked at them from a different point of view. So this definitely was a comedy. And I am not going to lie, we laughed our asses off. It was the funniest play I had ever seen. To this day, I still remember it. I laugh when I think about it. It was so funny. They talk about all the stuff around being moms. One of my favorite parts of it was somebody was looking for the mayonnaise. The husband was looking for the mayonnaise and he kept asking and asking and asking. And finally, the woman went over and opened the fridge door and this big light went on and the music was like, oh, like the clouds had parted and the angels were singing. And right in the very front of the refrigerator was the mayonnaise. I just remember that being so funny because that's what happens with my kids too. Like they just never look for anything. Like they never look behind anything. But this mayonnaise was right front and center. It was so funny and is very, very relatable. So relatable that it was laugh or cry. And we chose to laugh our faces off. And until it got into the teenage years. And then all of a sudden, me and my girls stopped laughing. But guess who kept laughing? My mom kept laughing. My mom thought that was the funniest thing ever. And we were just staring at her, horrified. Like, what do you mean? These things are happening? This is what we have to look forward to when our kids are teenagers? Because when we went to watch this, our kids were just young. And so we were relating to what was going on. But the teenage stuff was sounding pretty horrible. But my mom, she was having a good old time. She was laughing her face off. It was so funny. And I think back upon that time now when my kids are teenagers and now that they're older and they've growing up and moving out and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, it's still not funny because I'm in the middle of it and it seems very sad. But I'm sure one day we will look back on this time of our life when there's menopause going on and our kids are growing up and moving out and our parents are aging and we're looking after them or they need more support from us. Like these are the years where I would love to see a play that makes this funny down the road because when you're in it, it's hard. It doesn't seem funny at all. So Mum's the Word. And they have a menopause one too now. And I went to see the menopause one again with my mom. And I didn't really think that one was funny at all. I kind of thought that it was a bit sad and depressing because they just were talking about health decline and they were talking about losing kids and they were talking about all the loneliness and just the things they can't do anymore. It was actually the opposite of a comedy. So it was a drama and I would not recommend that one. And I didn't like that one. And I'm like, okay, this does not sound fun. And then here I am in menopause. It seems like once we raise our kids, our focus as women becomes our health because our health changes once we get into menopause. Let me start with a description, a definition of what menopause actually is. Menopause is defined as the natural biological process marking the end of a woman's menstrual cycles, and reproductive years. It is diagnosed after 12 consecutive months without a menstrual period, typically occurring between the ages of 45 and 55, though it can vary widely. Yeah, you could say that again. Menopause results from the gradual decline in ovarian function and the associated decrease in the production of hormones such as estrogen and progesterone. So yeah, your whole body is changing, and this is the gift of menopause. But it the fascinating thing is it's supposed to happen. Remember, our body is brilliant. Our body is nature, and nature knows what it's doing. So we got to trust it. And the best way we can go through midlife as gracefully as possible is to listen to our body's cues. Trust our body. Listen and trust our body. And this will make it easier to gracefully go through menopause. Menopause comes with many gifts: weight gain, hot flashes, mood swings, physical body changes, night sweats, interrupted sleep, thinning hair, memory problems, joint pain. I could go on and on and on. And it's really important to note that it's different for everybody. So not everybody's going to experience all of these fun effects of menopause. Yours is going to be specific to you. And you want to make sure that you are at optimal health so that your body will transition into menopause as quickly as possible. Menopause can take 7 to 10 years. A lot of women don't know this. When I first started investigating menopause, I didn't realize it would take that long. It's a whole process. And what's happening is your body is changing. So your body's an adaptogen. And then when you go from being in your reproductive years to not being in your reproductive years, your body physically changes. That's how amazing your body is. And so your hormones will change, and then your body just needs to adapt. It's designed to adapt. This is what it's built to do. So it will do it. And the way it will do it the easiest and most seamlessly will be if you focus on taking care of your body's baseline health, giving your body everything it needs. Because when your body is out of homeostasis, it makes it harder. Homeostasis is when your body is perfectly balanced. And when your body is perfectly balanced, disease can't exist. Your body just can heal itself because that's what it's designed to do. So when it comes to menopause, this is the same thing. The more in homeostasis your body is, the easier it will be for your body to transition into menopause because it's just balancing out the hormones. And so when you're at your peak health, your body can do this quicker. All of these symptoms that I listed, most women go through. How do I know this? Because they talk to me about it, because I help women master midlife. And most of the time, I'm the only one that these women are telling about this. But because I coach a lot of women, I'm like, hey, these are repeating patterns here. Like, how the heck do we solve for this problem? And how do we let all the women know that this is normal? You're not the only one going through it. It's the same when we were pregnant, all the changes in our body. It's the same when after we had our babies, our hormonal shifts, big hormonal shifts that happen, our body is just trying to balance itself out because our body is totally run by hormones. Hormones run the show. And as women, we know it more than anybody else. I remember a time when I would just instantly feel rage. I'm like, I don't know why, but I had the ability to recognize that I was feeling rage for no reason. And I would say to my kids, Mom is going through a thing and I'm feeling super angry sometimes and it has nothing to do with you, but I'm going to tell you this so when it happens, I'm just going to walk away. So they knew that it wasn't them. And it didn't last for a long period of time, but it was hard because you're like, why do I hate the world? Why do I want to kill everybody? Like, why have I just had enough? Just out of nowhere, from being like a super laid back, chill kind of person. So I think the first thing is to really give yourself space to experience all of these things. Give yourself the kindness and the love for your body to change. I always tell my clients, create a safe space in your brain and in your heart for your body to go through this, for your body to be changing and letting go of what was and embracing what is. Really love on yourself through this. Be kind to yourself. Oh, that's my hormones. Okay. I know I'm going to have these big feelings coming up. That's normal. Okay, I can do that. I'm not the only one going through this. Every single woman goes through some form of menopausal symptoms. And the healthier you are, the smaller the symptoms, or the shorter the period of transition is. For me, I experienced weight gain. That's the one that a lot of women, most women come to me with. It's like, Heather, I literally woke up one morning and felt like I'd gained 20 pounds right in my stomach. Like I haven't done anything different. And now all of a sudden I got this midlife belly. I'm like, First of all, I want to assure them that they haven't done anything wrong. This is their body changing. And so what we used to do, what used to work for us, like the food that we ate, and we'd run, jog, we'd sprint, we'd kill ourselves at the gym, all that, it just doesn't work anymore. So all we have to do is come up with another game plan. So it's not a problem. And when we embrace that, okay, what we're doing didn't work, but we haven't done anything wrong. Nothing's gone wrong here. It's just our body adapting. I also lost a lot of muscle, and I became weaker. And I noticed this when I was traveling, like out of my normal daily routines. I wasn't as strong. I didn't feel as strong as I used to be. And that's not a big side effect of menopause or one of the big things about menopause, but I noticed I just didn't want to work out anymore. I didn't want to lift weights anymore. I've never been somebody who likes to lift weights. Never. But I like to do functional fitness. I like boot camp stuff. But as we get older, we want to keep our muscles and bones super strong. So we do want to lift some weights. The problem with me is, in my brain, mentally, I'm like, it's torturous. So I try to find the best way, the easiest way, the most sustainable way for me to lift weights. And because I was a personal trainer, I happen to have weights and a cable machine in my garage. So my mission in life is to at least one day a week do a full body workout, lifting heavy weights, building muscle. It's hard. And so when I can't do it, which is most of the time, I'm thinking, how can I make this doable for me? How can I make sure I lift weights at least once a week, build muscle so I can stay strong as I get older? And the answer is super clear for me, is that I want to hire someone to train me or go to a group. I prefer a group because I like meeting new people and connecting with new people. So for me, it would be wise for me to join a group where they do lifting and make it a group of women who are my age, because then it's a social thing. It's so funny because when we're trying to do something and we can't, the best way to do it is through the accountability, is to hire someone else. And that's exactly what I do when I'm coaching people. Is like, people just find that what they're doing isn't working. They can't do it on their own. And so they hire me or a coach. Is like, look, you can't see the forest for the trees. You can't see the thoughts that are creating this because you're thinking the thoughts. And you've never been taught how to be the thinker of your thoughts and the watcher of the thinker of your thoughts. You're those two people. You're the one thinking the thoughts, and then you can be the one watching you think those thoughts. And I can see your thoughts because I'm outside of you. And it's so much easier for someone else to solve these problems for you and to show you and to support you and to motivate you and to help you be accountable. So anytime I can't do something on my own, trust me, I try everything on my own. Like, I got this. And then I'm like, I don't got this. So another really great example of this is speaking Spanish. So when I'm learning how to speak Spanish, I do it on my own. And I'm here and there. But when I go to a class, I have to speak Spanish because I'm there in the class. So I learn way more quickly. I get better results. I can go from A to B faster when I'm in a group or a class or somebody else is teaching me how to do it. That's just how it works for me. And it's the same in midlife. So all of these things I became weaker. So I gained weight, I lost muscle, I became weaker, and I had a huge loss in concentration and focus. Now, that one, if you listened to my podcast yesterday, has to do with social media. That one is, you solve for that in a totally different way. You do a dopamine detox for that one. But I became ADD from social media, the scrolling, the fast pace, all the attention, like it's designed to capture your attention. So these are the biggest things that I noticed when I went into menopause. And so I just solved for them. My nutrition is the easiest one for me because I am obsessed with healing your body with food. Like this one is like, I got this one. I don't need help with this one. I don't need to be motivated with this one because this is my jam. And this is what most women come to me for. But when I want to create more muscle and I can't get into the gym and lift even one day a week, then that means I want to go join a group and I want to be accountable so I know. Same as learning my Spanish, same as tennis. God, how do I get better at tennis? I could hit it against the wall. And I started doing that. And guess what happened? Then it faded off over time. But when I go and I take a tennis lesson, I'm like, I'm bringing my A game because I got a coach here. Coach is watching me. Coach is helping me. Coach is giving me tips on how to get better. If I just do what they say, I'm going to get better way faster, way faster. That's the beautiful part of it. So how do you make your menopause journey easier, more graceful? How can you shorten that time period? How can you make all of the side effects of menopause smaller and less intense? There's 3 things that you want to do for sure. Top 3 things. One is eat whole, clean foods. That's my answer for everything. You know that. Eat whole, clean foods. So by now, I'm hoping that you've found the foods that you love, the clean, whole foods. You can eat the same stuff every day. I find as I don't cook for my kids anymore, and I'm eating 2 pounds of vegetables a day, I eat the same thing every day. 10 or 11 o'clock, I have 2 pounds of vegetables. But it's the same thing. Frozen broccoli from Costco, and then the frozen fire roasted vegetables. And then I throw a couple eggs in there. And I eat that every single day, and it is serving me so well. So well. I'm just packing my body full of nutrients. So eat whole, clean foods. So find what works for you and just stick to that. And then move your body for 30 minutes. Just move your body. And studies have shown that if right after you eat, you move your body, go for a 10-minute walk, it makes a difference. It speeds up your metabolism. It helps you to digest. It burns off some of that food that you just ate as glycogen so it doesn't get stored as fat. So move your body for 30 minutes, but it is not kill yourself at the gym. No, it's walk, it's ride your bike, it's play tennis, it's dance, yoga, whatever it is. Just moving your body. And then you want to learn something new. So you want to keep your brain learning and growing as well. Every time we learn something new, it creates new neural pathways in our brain. And the more times we do it, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And so the more we're learning something new, the sharper our brain stays. Always try to learn something new. That's why I'm learning Spanish. That's one of the reasons why I'm learning Spanish. But every time I learn a new word, boom, new neural pathways. So as we get older, we want to keep our brain nice and sharp. And then the other thing that I would say is do lift weights at least once a week, every single body part. We want to build muscle. We want to stay strong. We want to have strong bones, muscles. Because what I noticed in menopause, I'll use my mom as an example because she's the perfect example of what's going to happen in menopause for me, because she's my mom, is that my mom is getting shorter and shorter and shorter. And so if you have a nice strong core, it's going to help you stay taller longer. And as she gets shorter, her body's compressing, and it can be painful when your body starts to compress on itself. And now my mom is tough as nails. She never complains. So I know if she actually does say something, it's painful for her. It's hard for her. She also has feet that have bunions, and so the toes are in, and that's what I'm experiencing. And right now I am on the process, on the path of changing my bunions, fixing them, because I didn't even know that bunions were a thing. So I have one on one foot and I noticed it because there was a bump on my foot. I'm like, what is this? Found out what it was. Now I'm like, how do we change that? I'm not doing surgery, but here's how I can do it. You just undo what was done. It was a bunion is a long time period coming. It didn't happen overnight. It happened over 55 years, right? Because of our shoes. I'll do a video on that. But this is how I stay as healthy as possible, because I know my mom's feet hurt. It hurts her to walk. She has arthritis and bunions. And I want to be walking forever. So I'm like, how can I focus on my feet to make them as healthy and as in alignment as possible? Because if your feet go out of alignment, guess what? Your knees are next and then your hips. So your whole body goes out of alignment. So really taking the cues in when something is changing in your body and going, okay, how do I change this? How do I fix this? How do I change this back to the way it was? So that there aren't extra effects, not extra, like side effects of those changes rippling throughout your body. You want to keep your body as healthy as possible. So eat whole, clean foods, move your body for 30 minutes, learn something new, and do lift heavy weights, build muscle. Build muscle so that you can stay strong, tall, mobile, independent, go and live your best life. You're going to find me surfing for as long as humanly possible. You're going to find me hiking, exploring, bike riding, dancing for as long as humanly possible. And so I'm in training. I always think of stuff as in training for. When I was pregnant, I was in training for labor, and in training for delivery, in training for being a mom. And now I'm in training for menopause, which is me done raising my kids and going out and living my best life with a super healthy body that allows me to do any crazy idea that pops into this brain of mine. Any crazy idea, I'm good to go. My body is ready to go. And that's what I'm looking forward to in midlife. And that's why I want to help as many people gracefully go through menopause as possible. Nothing's gone wrong. This is supposed to happen. Create a safe space for your brain and in your heart for these hormones to balance themselves out. And then you're going to be good. So the cleaner you eat, the more you do this, the quicker you'll go through it. So here are some hot tips, a couple of hot tips. One, maca powder is the number one hormone balancer for women. So you can just, and it's a natural root, right? So I'm always giving natural solutions. Maca powder, research it, look into it, see if it's right for you. Horsetail tea, I'm big on horsetail tea. I drink it as tea, but horsetail in general, because it helps to keep strong bones, because it's full of silica, and silica in your bones will create more calcium. And then 2 pounds of veggies a day, because I'm packing my body full of nutrients and I want an abundance mindset around food. And I love to eat. I love to eat. So the way I eat calorie density is I can eat a ton of foods. I just eat until I feel satisfied. And it's just like, ooh, it's just such a good way to live life. Like there's never a lack, there's never restrictions. It's just like eat as much as you want. And it helps to fuel my body. I feel so good when I get those 2 pounds of vegetables in every single day. I eat 2 meals a day. My first meal, which is 10 or 11 o'clock, breaking my fast, is vegetables. It's vegetables. Vegetables and eggs. And then whole clean foods across the board. The cleaner you eat, the healthier your body will be. The healthier your body is, the easier it can adapt to anything that comes up for it, the quicker it can heal itself. So there you go. I've given you all the goods on menopause. If you want more information, please reach out to me. I am happy to help. This is my zone of genius. This is my jam. I love helping women get their body on track so they can go out and live a crazy, amazing, fabulous, brilliant midlife. Go do all the things that they've ever dreamed of, because it's possible for you. If you can dream it in your brain, you can live it. Thank you for listening. Always, always, always love yourself first, and have an amazing day.